So without further ado, let's get started. Here is just a little agenda schedule, itinerary schedule. So Karen will be doing some remarks about Gen AI, and then we'll hand it over to Ketan, who will go over LightLeap's fraud detection module. And then with JT, also known as John Braswell, and myself, we will go over the student services module, and then hand it over to Jack Campbell for the faculty supplements. And then it'll go back to Karen for some closing remarks. And then we have our big giveaway at the end. So let's see who the lucky winner will be. Karen, off to you.
Hey, Ron, you buried the lead there. You didn't tell the people what the giveaway is. You want to share everybody what our big prize is today?
So our big giveaway is for all the attendees that stay till the end of the webinar is a brand new iPhone 16. So you'll be walking away with a brand new iPhone 16 at the end of this webinar.
Great. 1 second while I get ready here. I hope everybody is having a great Friday here. Our goal and hope is that we will make your Friday hopefully a lot more productive and at least allow you to celebrate, at least one of you to celebrate your weekend with a iPhone 16. First of all, I think as you all have seen, we're all in this new generation where everybody's talking about AI. By AI, some people think of AI as just ChatGPT. But as you know, AI is not just ChatGPT. It can be Gemini by Google, or Claude 3 by Sonnet by Anthropic, and Mistral and Llama 3 from Meta, and Grok by Elon Musk. So AI by definition is in, but even that, they're not just AI, they're just large language models. And this has taken a life of its own. I think I was listening to some podcast recently that it took about 80 years for industrial revolution to convert from whatever industrial revolution was to a mobile generation or internet generation. And it took less than 3 years for less than 10 years for internet generation to take on, and it took less than 3 years for AI to take on. This is the first time in modern generation that anybody from 80 years old to 3 years old or 5 years old are able to take a platform and communicate with it without needing any training whatsoever. And that's what makes AI truly powerful. And as we started playing around with AI, our big question that we were trying to solve is like, there's a big disconnect between how easy AI is and how hard academy is. In a lot of ways, I'm not just talking about the classroom instruction. I'm talking about the systems that students have to negotiate on a daily basis. Your student information system, that is like the authoritative source for student data, faculty data, and other data. Learning management system that acts as authoritative source for different learning content and others, and also other administrative systems like the parking, housing, and others. And each of them go through myriads of logins, security profiles, and technologies. And one of the big issues that we were trying to figure out is like, how do we give that type of flexibility that ChatGPT has or Gemini has, where people can just search and get the answers and give it to the academy. And that's what led us to LightLeap. So at the heart of it, LightleapAI is a Gen AI product by End-to-End Services. As some of you probably know, that End-to-End is a integration first company. I personally started my journey as a student information system implementer between 1998 and 2010. And since 2010, we've been focused exclusively on the bottom of this pile here, which is connecting different systems: student information system, learning management system, parking system, structured and unstructured data like your files, PDFs, and the like. And because of that, as a result of that, we've built a product called Illuminate, which is an integration platform as a service that allows these disparate systems to be accessible using the power of APIs or application programming interfaces. Now, what we've done to make LightleapAI work is we converted them, each of these, into AI agents so that students can ask questions to the bot and it will answer them based on their profile. The big difference on how end-to-end built their AI product when compared to other AI products that are going to come about is there's this idea by some companies or product vendors that for you to make AI work, you have to give all your data to a vendor and the vendor will build AI product for you. We do not believe that. We believe that the only way AI can be successful is to keep the data in the authoritative sources and plug it in for specific point releases using security. So when a student says, where is my course information? It's not pulling it from my database. It's pulling from your student information system. When a faculty says, who is enrolled in my classes? It's not coming from end-to-end infrastructure. It's coming from your banner or PeopleSoft and the like. And what we are doing in the agent architecture is having different agents, which are just APIs that are pulling this information transactionally. But it's not just a transactional system. It also intelligently routes the information and uses the power of AI, like RAG, retrieval augmented generation, natural language processing, and multi-language support you're going to see. So the power of LightleapAI is it's a platform that allows you to take advantage of all these different systems and give you the same flexibility that ChatGPT gives you, Llama 2 gives you, Claude and others give you. And in the next few minutes, we are going to show you 3 of those use cases that we've been able to implement and in scale and put it in front of our customers. So that's the reason why we're super excited. And none of this, a lot of this comes from a lot of hard work from my team. So some of them are on the call, but really the only reason why we've been able to grow this and implement this at this pace is because of our fantastic collaboration with our lead partners. Ivy Tech Community College has led the way in implementing a cool transcript ingestion system where a student literally uploads a transcript and it processes the transcript and shows the result in a text format and pushes it to banner. Futil Dianza has been leading the way on building a fraud detection model that we're going to show shortly, where we are identifying frauds almost real time and zapping them from registering for courses, applying for financial aid. And West Valley Mission College District has been leading the way and on building a chatbot that makes students, give them the experience that they can be most effective with. And Rancho Santiago has recently joined us to guide the way on how we can use AI for stopping financial aid fraud across the board. And we also have a great collaboration with California Virtual Campus, where they want to build a plugin to help a faculty member identify where the areas of opportunities are to improve their lessons and make it more RSI compliant. There's a lot to cover here, and we don't want to make it too much of pedagogical thing either. So in the next few minutes, we will try to be as short and cryptic as possible to show you these real use cases. That's what I'm super excited about. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Ketan here.
Thanks, Kiran. So one of the ways we're leveraging AI to provide value is our AI-powered fraud detection. I want to back up and talk a little bit about where this problem came from and why end-to-end was kind of in a really good place to work with Foothill to solve the issue. So at the onset of COVID, a bunch of classroom learning shifted from in-person to online. That was one thing. The other thing that was going on was the Equifax breach, T-Mobile breach, in which millions of people's personal information was getting stolen from them and hosted on venues like the dark web, which gave bad actors like fraudsters the ability to steal that information and apply it to campuses with it, and then register for classes, preventing actual students from being able to enroll in those classes, and then going on to apply for financial aid, never showing up for those classes, and then skedaddling with the money. This became a billion-dollar problem in California alone. And so what we needed to do to solve this was tie together end-to-end expertise in student information systems, artificial intelligence model building, as well as integration to be able to pull records and process them in real time. So when we started working on this problem with Foothill De Anza, we knew the scope of it, but we didn't have a clean data set saying who was and was not fraud. So step one was working with end-to-end existing expertise in student information systems to build a data set that tracks students from the time of application through course enrollment, as well as FAFSA application. Once we were able to engineer this data set, the task of identifying what was and was not fraud was a very painstaking endeavor in which we had to use unsupervised learning techniques to identify clusters of information that would had linkages between each other using different IP addresses and pieces of contact information such as email addresses and phone numbers that were repeated. Once we reviewed those, we were able to establish labels that we were able to feed to a traditional machine learning model, which we were able to use to identify patterns of fraud. Now, how machine learning works is it identifies patterns based off of what is and is not fraud, and learns how to combine these features and provide a single probability score that'll indicate whether or not an applicant coming in is a bad actor or a legitimate student. Now, the nice thing about this is we're not relying on any one particular factor to clear a student. If we were to just rely on age or the state of the SSN issuing state or a GPA coming out of a high school, we would flag way too many good students who are actually coming in to university to study. Once we use machine learning to combine these factors, we're able to establish a highly accurate model that's able to identify fraudsters without applying too much friction on students applying for school, as well as administrators trying to ingest students and have them apply for college and courses. So with our expertise in building the data set, training a model to understand who is and is not fraud, and then working with our API engineers to pull an application, process that, score it, and then push that data back into the database within a matter of 15 to 20 seconds, we were able to build a model that takes thousands of applications that were actually fraudsters and then reduce them to about 170, only 170 fraudsters after that. So we're taking, that's accuracy rate of over 97%. Now, once we deployed this with our partner institutions, we found that this was a fantastic success. When we initially deployed the fraud prevention system with Foothill De Anza, Jory Hadsel of Foothill De Anza, after the fact, was able to say that with end-to-end fraud detection service, we were able to achieve 100% increase in the accuracy of identification of fraudulent actors. The real test for this product came when we redeployed this product at West Valley Mission College with over a 90% effectiveness rate within only a week. That really gave us the confidence that we built a model that not only was able to detect fraud at one college, but we were learning who was and was not a fraudster anywhere. This was confirmed once again once we worked with Rancho Santiago Community College District, and we were able to implement our system within a 24-hour time span and achieve a confirmed 90% accuracy rate.
Yeah, I mean, I did promote Jory to be the panelist just so that we can hear firsthand from Jory as well. I hope, Jory, if you want to say a couple of words on your firsthand experience, I think attendees would love to hear that. But yeah, Jory, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, we were really pleased to work with the team at End2End to, do the initial development with you of the AI fraud detection model. As was said earlier, like, many institutions, especially open access institutions in higher ed, we were devoting a significant number of resources, people's time, specifically to reviewing fraud applications for fraud. And it's been really incredible to have the model now deployed. We ran, a lot of historical data through it, did some fine tuning, worked a lot with our financial aid and our admissions teams. And I can't thank them enough for the time they spent, reviewing different reports and helping us to tune the model. It's really significantly reduced the amount of time that they have to spend and been incredibly accurate. Of course, no system is perfect, but as you can see there from the quote on the screen, we thought we had a fairly advanced model in place. We were one of the districts that did have some automation built around this, and basically, found double the amount that we thought we had. So we're really happy to see this scaling, and every institution that adopts, I think, is making the product even better, and we all benefit from that. So thank you.
Thanks, Jory. We also have in attendance President Jeannie Kim, the president of Rancho Santiago. Certainly, President Kim, if you don't feel comfortable saying anything, it's okay. But we are if nothing else, we're super grateful for the opportunity to work with you and your team. There's last couple of weeks has been like truly. There was a couple of days I was like holding my hands a little bit, saying, we are recommending that they should drop them. What if something happens? But your leadership with Santiago College on resolving this problem was amazing. And President Kim, if you want to say something, we certainly, I think, audience will be happy to listen to it.
Yeah. So I just want to say that when I first saw your product and what the other colleges were saying, I knew that we needed a solution, and it was a Hail Mary toss out to you. And thank you so much for responding so incredibly quickly. We were sort of in devastation mode. I will say that our enrollment was plummeting. At the very beginning of the semester, we were above 10.5% in terms of enrollment growth in terms of comparison to last year. And a week later, just 5 days later, we saw that drop precipitously, almost 2% every day. And we were hovering right above 1%. And then the following week, we started to go into negative territory, meaning that we were no longer experiencing any kind of growth. What we were doing was going backwards in terms of where we were last year. And so to watch that happen in a 2-week span was gut-wrenching, and it was a gut punch for sure. And we needed to find out what the issue was. And we knew that it was the fraudulent enrollments that were really creating a very big hit on our growth efforts, and the ability, more importantly, of real students to be able to actually enroll in classes because the bots were taking up all of the space. And, thanks to Kieran and his team and this solution, we were able to get ahead of it. And at this point, just a few days ago, I was telling my college council I did not have much hope because I was just bracing for the fact that we were going to continue to experience tremendous enrollment losses because we didn't have a solution. But after implementing the solution, after the work that the team has been doing in partnership with End2End, and the LightLeap solution is working. We've taken some very bold steps. We are doing a cleaning every night. We came up with that solution with End2End partners, and it's actually making a difference. Instead of having 100 FTS loss overnight, what we're experiencing is maybe 12. And the reason for that is because we're actually enrolling real students into those classes. Because what we discovered is that the bots previously were not hitting our wait lists, but they were now in our wait lists. And so getting rid of them in the actual class wasn't enough. And so with the LightLeap solution, we're able to look at both the wait lists as well as the registrations and the applications, go in and clean those up. And nightly, we're doing a refresh, and we're getting real students into these classes. And that's why our enrollments are no longer plummeting. And so I can't thank you enough, Karen. Honestly, I was really on my last leg in relation to this and really just trying to figure out what we were going to do. But you guys have really stepped in, and I would absolutely sing your praises on this front because you guys stepped in a way that I didn't know was going to be possible. And now I have hope that we will be able to get ahead of this even as the bots mature and get smarter and figure out other end runs. I feel like we have a real solution that we can work with and with your company to be able to get ahead of the game enough so that we'll be able to recover in terms of enrollments for both our intersession as well as for our spring enrollments and beyond. So again, thank you. And we're continuing to see success, and we're not having that precipitous and huge plummeting drops that we were experiencing previously. So there's still small drops, but again, the more important thing is that as a result of your solution, we were able to enroll over 500 real enrollments, real students that were able to get their classes, which wasn't possible previously. And that just happened over the last couple of days.
Yeah, thank you so much, President Kim. I really appreciate it. For attendees here, this was not an infomercial. We did not, Dr. Kim, President Kim and Jory did not even know that we will add them to the panelists so that they can say, thank you so much. Really, we're super happy with it. But again, this is where I think, you can start transitioning to Rohan here. This is where I think we are super excited about what LightLeap can do. There's a lot of discussion about hallucinations and biases and stuff like that. What we want to show you is that AI is a real solution that can solve real problems. And the first problem is obviously the fraud detection. We're super grateful for the collaboration here. Rohan, go ahead.
Sure. So what I'm going to, let me share my screen real quick. So we
while he's
talked
doing
about
that, the second use case that he's going to show you is that, like we promised, AI can be a chatbot like ChatGPT. Again, just to be clear, without giving you all my data. So our goal is keep your data at your systems and still get the best of breed experience that ChatGPT offers. So this is our current deployment of our chatbot with for students. Go ahead, Rohan. Sorry.
Thank you, Karen, for that lovely introduction. So yes, as Karen was stating, I will now show you how our UI is for LightleapAI and how we can use how students can use the chatbot to not only find information that they're used to finding from ChatGPT and Google, but they can do that within LightLeap so they aren't going through many pages, many tabs, and getting lost in the process, as well as students using these to look at their grades and figure out what classes they are currently enrolled in and how to register as well. So we're going to show you all that. So let's first start with how students can use this in a general facing form. So you see right here, we have some preloaded prompts that students can easily click on if they want to get right to the point, or just like how people are used to with ChatGPT and Google, we have the search bar right here. So I have the context set to Lafayette College. So let's ask a simple question saying, where is my campus located? And using NLP or natural language processes, we can communicate with the bot just like how we communicate with a human being, like your parents, your siblings, your friends. So no need to enter in any specific type of wording. It'll just communicate as you normally are talking to a human, and it'll do the job for you. So now we see that we have the address back and we have some more preloaded prompts that maybe students may want to click on. So I can click on, is there public transportation available near the campus? Because I want to know if I need to figure out how to get commutes, or if it's better for me to just get an apartment or dorm if I'm a student. So this is one way that LightLeap can be used in the general sense to retrieve public-facing information that students would normally find from Google or ChatGPT, but it's all within one tenant. So they won't have to get lost in the process, because especially with the generation and feeder generations, they want to find the information right away. So you can see how it's being deployed here, but now I want to take it one step more and actually see how I can access my grades and see what I'm doing and how to pick classes. So let's go ahead and click this breadcrumb called Show Me My Academic History. So we'll generate what my whole entire college career courses are so far and what grades I have with them. So now you're seeing that, and it pulls up all my grades from fall 2020, spring 2021, fall 2021. So now from here, we can see, I can ask, what courses am I registered for in the current term? So then Lightleap being connected with the institution's SIS systems and LMS systems and student data, it is retrieving all of that. And don't worry, the data is not going anywhere, because like we keep saying, it's custom made per institution. It's not a one size fits all solution. So as you see now, I have the action list of all my courses. And just like how you'll see it in like the course registration, you'll get the ID, the CRN number, the term, the name, which teacher, which campus, and which days. And it gives me the ability to drop any of them as I will. So say that I want to drop accounting because that is the class I hated in college. And now it'll automatically be dropped. So these buttons are actionable. And this is very cool because, say, for example, we're using ChatGPT to book hotels. You can't directly book the hotel within ChatGPT. It'll give you like a link to go to the hotel's website, and then you got to do all that fun stuff, which can be tedious. But with the LightleapAI, it's all within the same interface and same portal. So you can do everything within one page, which is really, really cool. So now that we have dropped the course, let's see what classes we need to register for. So I don't see I have any English classes, and English is a prerequisite. So let's see what, classes do I need for English? And in the same way, as I've been saying, you'll go retrieve all the course registration data, pull it back, and then similar to how we were able to drop, once it pulls up the table, it'll have us be able to register. And just like we can see all the classes we're currently enrolled in, we'll be able to see the timings, the buildings, which teacher, and the CRN number. So this is very, very cool from the old mundane ways where, students would have to find the CRN number, write it down somewhere else, open up a different portal, type it in. Yeah, I know JT has been complaining to me a lot about that back in the day. So now we see we have a bunch of English classes. We see that it'll notify us if some are already closed. So let's go ahead and click writing and composition. So let's go ahead and register for that. So then once we're registered for it, the next step is, now that students are registered for the courses, we can go and pay for the courses. So I will turn it over to JT, and JT, you can kick it off.
Was that yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have seen that error came up, but because it's connected to a real banner system, so that error is coming back from banner saying, it looks like you already have this course enrolled. So while JT is preparing for the payment, we can kind of talk a little bit about, what it means is that it is calling a real live API. We're calling it active AI, where we set up agents to say, when a student says, show me my academic history, it's not pulling it from a data warehouse that on our site. We wrote an agent to pull the academic history, and wrote an agent to get enrolled courses, wrote an agent to pull the academic, post registration. But these are not agents we created overnight. These are some of the APIs we created over the last 15 years. And what we're doing with Lightleap is exposing them using the power of natural language processing and others. JT, you can continue while I'm doing that. But go ahead, JT.
So now that we're going to kind of shift gears here, so now that we have registered for the classes, figure out what classes we need to take based off our academic history and what our degree path is, let's see how we can have this payment functionality, and how Lightleap can streamline this for the student. So if I'm a student, I want to ask kind of what's my account balance and see how much I owe. Big issue with academia is some students will only need one semester left. and we call it purge, is that, they'll go on throughout the semester, but not be notified that they owe a certain amount. And so it's going to help see what we owe here. As you see displayed, the total account balance is 107.25. So let me, how can I pay this balance? So what action items are displayed below is I can make a one-time payment, I can schedule some future payments, and I can also add an authorized user. So let's go ahead and make a one-time payment, for example. Now, with these payment options as displayed, it'll show the amount that you would like to pay if you want to pay it now or later. Also, with my wallet payment functionalities, also that can be displayed are e-checks, debit, credit, paying for digital wallet as well, PayPal, Venmo, Amazon, and other options available to make that payment for you. So for example purposes, we'll just go ahead and pay now $25 for right now, because sometimes people can't pay the total balance, but the beauty of Lightleap is it's fully customizable per institution. If the institution wants to set a log on it that you can only pay the amount, they can do that as well. So we'll click continue here. Now that one-time payment is made when I click pay. Now that I've made a one-time payment, what was that?
Yes, Karen.
Yeah, just so you guys know, like we are not payment processor. You already know that. We do not want to handle your credit cards or this. So our goal in this example, we're showing our partner Paymentus, which is our first LightleapAI partner, where we have deeply integrated their payment APIs into the system. But obviously, if you have TouchNet or NullNet or ACI Worldwide or CashNet, we integrate it the same way like your self-service banner does, because we do not want to handle your PCI compliant payments. We just want to give an interface so that it's seamless for the student, so that it just transitions between their Lightleap experience and their payment experience. Sorry, go ahead, JT.
Very good. Yeah, that's good because the student portal is known to be a click farm. So this kind of helps streamline every process the student can, or decision the student can make as far as paying for their balance and registering for a course. So not only can we pay the bill or make a one-time payment, we can also sign up for a future payments for a payment plan. So let's go ahead and click continue with our current payment method. And then now it'll show different types of frequencies. If you want to have the payment weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or bi-monthly. For example purposes, we'll do bi-weekly here and select a date, from Monday. And then we'll select an end date for November 8th, just for example purposes. And then we'll do the $25 again. And it'll show that in the total, and we'll select by selecting the box and then create auto pay. And then now that future payment will be selected. It's just displaying that because we had a previous $25 payment, but we'll go ahead and create auto pay. Now that auto payment is selected. Now the third action item that's available for the student is to add an authorized user. So all you have to do is to add a new authorized user as a parent, a guardian, an aunt. You'll just enter the name, the first name and last name, and then their email address. And then once you click submit from that authorized user, the recipient will get an email saying you're an authorized user from that university domain. But yeah, that's pretty much the student functionality as far as the payment portion with Paymentus. Jack, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. So again, while Jack is getting set up, we have a lot more functionality in the chatbot. Obviously, students can query for holds, check for balances, find out academic history. But the other thing is, the thing I want you to remember is that it's a NLP LLM chatbot. That means that they can communicate in English, Vietnamese, Korean, Hindi or Telugu or whatever. And the chatbot will answer back because it is behind the scenes is connected to a large language model. And it's also a multi-LLM model. We support AWS Bedrock. We're deeply collaborated with AWS, and I think some of the AWS people are on the call as well, where we have deployed AI as a service infrastructure on end-to-end Bedrock infrastructure. So what it means is that none of the queries are going to feed data to ChatGPT or Gemini or others. These are private AI environments that are individually atomized for each of you, so your data stays within your environment. So that allows us to have incredible flexibility on not only customizing the AI chatbot and its responses, but also its use cases as well. So one of the use cases that California Virtual Campus brought to us is, hey, how can we use AI to help faculty, comply with our RSI specifications? So I don't want to take too much thunder away from Jack here. Jack, go ahead.
Sure, Karen, thank you. So when I came on board, this is a new area that we were starting to develop for CVC. They wanted to be able to run across their syllabus, their discussions, and their assignments, AI tools in order to give them suggestions and kind of score sort of how they put it together, how the discussions are flowing, and how they compare to other courses as far as what they have inside of each course. And so I'm going to show you really quick the mock-up here. So let's see, let's go to LightleapAI. So basically, when you click on the LightleapAI here in the navigation, this is in Canvas for anybody who's familiar with Canvas. We've got it set up to do the analysis of the LightleapAI and give an assessment. So the formative assessment is the muddiest points. The analysis results are a score of 8. That's 8 out of 10. And then it goes through and it talks about some of the different AI sensitive elements. And then it lists the course assignments, the discussions in the syllabus, and the fact that like the assignments overall score is 8 out of 10. The discussions overall score is 7 out of 10, and the syllabus overall score is 8 out of 10. When you click on assignments, it's going to come back and it's going to give you, like for assignment 1, the overall level is initial. It's delivered asynchronously. And then it goes through sort of the substantive interaction, the opportunities for enhancement, the strengths, the overview. So this is the AI rolling across this particular assignment and coming back and saying, this is what we think that you can do. And then a key glossary of terms so that people understand what it's coming back and delivering. And then a revision suggestions. So to elevate your assignments to a developed level, integrate diverse strategies like critical thinking, prompts, and interactive quizzes or forums. So it's really going over, it's rolling over the course, and then it's rolling over an assignment in particular, and it's saying, here's how you can make this stronger, here's how you can make this better for the interaction with the students, which is especially important when you're teaching online, when you're teaching synchronously, right? You want that kind of feedback so that you know that the students are able to interact with the course in a way that is intuitive and is giving good results. And then if we go back here, we can just really quickly click on discussions. Again, it does the same thing. It says it's developed, and then it goes through the different substantive, excuse me, interactions. And so if you look at the overview, you can say focuses on providing direct instruction. The level is initial, or the level is, like in this one, is emerging. And here's the level of one that's developed. And then if you go down, here's the glossary of terms again, and here's the revision suggestions. The idea with this is that it will be the actual assignment, you'll have it pulled up next to the LightLeap tab so that the person can be looking at the discussion or the assignment or the syllabus with the LightLeap results next to it and be able to really look at and see what changes to make and what to do if they choose to do any changes to make it more student interact and highly developed. So, and again, there's some of the revision suggestions. And if you go down to the syllabus, it does the same thing with the syllabus. So it tells you the different areas inside the syllabus. It gives a lot more information because the syllabus is most syllabi are fairly substantial. And it comes back and it just talks about again, the glossary of key terms and the revision suggestions. So there's other, like I said, opportunities, advancements, strengths, etc. So we mocked this up so that you could see it. And let's go back one. But really exciting is that we were able to let me just show you this really quickly. If I go here to LightleapAI, we're starting to be able to develop this. This is coming straight off of the API for LightleapAI. LightleapAI, excuse me. So now you can just click on assignments, discussion topics, or syllabuses and get the same information.
Yep. Thanks, Jack. And again, the idea here is give instructors a guide to help improve their assignments, syllabus, or courses, because we are moving from a pre-AI world to post-AI world. Our standard assignments of giving them just a 2 + 2, what is 2 + 2, will no longer work because that's easy to get the answers for. So instructors have to look at creative ways to improving their lesson plans, and this is going to be deeply integrated into Canvas as a LTI plugin. Right. So there were a couple of questions on where we were answering them interactively. But if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop them in here as we start coming to the end of this webinar here. So let's take one more question right now. Let's see, open. So there's one question about like whether we are actually putting the prompts in the system. A lot of the prompts, like for example, like when a student says, "What's my bill?" They're coming. Did you have your hand up for some reason? Okay. So a lot of the prompts, maybe it's me. Lower hand. Sorry. A lot of the prompts are coming up where they are just automatically, what LLM, LightleapAI does is looks at the answer and builds prompts based on that, and we'll show some more examples of that. So one other question is, we're looking for a chatbot program where student can chat their problem, and chatbot looks at our college website for answers, and if the answer cannot be found, then chatbot can compile. So no, that was not me. So AI in Zoom is still working. Well, this is actually a good profile into what we are about to show on what the chatbot is capable of doing. So one of the big questions is, yes, we've shown the self-service banner replacement or internet native banner ideation here, but what if you have a general purpose chatbot query system that you want to answer? So let me take this and on again. We did not see these questions. It looks like somebody has posted it. So if you have, but it's a really good segue to the next segment. And I'm going to share my screen here. And we'll show you something that the big question that we're talking about is on the general purpose questions, right? So we want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. One is, let's take this example. For the anonymous attendees, he teed me up properly here. So let's see. We'll just start with Foothill De Anza College and say Foothill De Anza College. So the question here is, something like this. So this is a website. Student has questions about this website. If you guys know anything about your students or your website, students don't want to ask to come to your website. They are not going to say, I don't know, maybe this will work better than others, but most website searches are really quite lame. They don't work. Even if they work, they're more transactional. They just respond to the question that asked, but not in a RAG fashion. But we also have now a chatbot is not just a chatbot can be exposed as an API, like your fraud detection. Chatbot can also be an application, like we showed in the student chatbot. But we also have an extension that we are releasing. So to answer this anonymous user's question, we are going to try to do something like this on Foothill De Anza website. So the student can come in and say, okay, I live in Santa Clara. Is this a good fit for me? So I can ask this question, and now this chatbot will answer questions related to this website. So the idea here is it will read the information on this site and say that this is Foothill De Anza College, and now I'm going to answer this question. You know, again, sorry for my font is a little weird, and if it's not readable, it's my fault. But I'm going to try to expand it so that it's more readable. So now I can say more questions like, what programs are offered here? So to answer the user's question, what we have as part of this action panel is you can configure it to answer obviously questions related to your site, but also LightLeap has an ability to plug into your structured and unstructured learning, not where in addition to answering questions on publicly available information, you can train it on a bunch of PDFs, you know, a database environment or other systems, and it will read that and answer this question. And the actions, just like you described, will be, if I did not answer your question, can I set up a call with you? Would you like to schedule a meeting? Would you like to call other people? And this bot will answer that for you. So the way this extension works is the students can download this extension directly from Chrome extensions and answer this question, ask them. And we can also have an ability to change the look and feel of this extension to match your institution's color scheme. And obviously we'll have a app store version of it as well. But this extension is not just restricted to, okay, Kim Tay has raised her hand. So let's see. Let me just show one more thing, and Kim, I'll get to you. Okay, so one more thing this can do, in addition to answering these questions, you can now use this chatbot to answer any website. For example, let's take this example of Sonnet 18 that nobody understands because it's written by Shakespeare. I can just say, can you explain this poem to me? So I can just ask the question. Again, at this point, all it is doing here is, I guess some pages are not easily readable. So can you explain, if that's the case, Sonnet 18 to me? So this is where it gets interesting. It's not just reading that page, it's reading the internet itself. So if it cannot read the page, now I can just ask the question just like you would ask Google, and it will answer this question. So this gives you a way to answer these questions, but your institution has incredible flexibility to do this customization, if you will. So this extension can be used on all the sites when you become a paid customer, or it can be used only for your specific sites, and your institution will have flexibility to customize it to say, answer only questions related to this or related to these websites, or answer any question from anywhere else. So that's the idea around this. So Kim, you raised your hand, so let's kind of Rohan, can you make Kim a ability to speak or panelist so that we can hear from her? And
sure.
Kim, go ahead. Oh, those are my questions.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Kim, for that great question. Again, we have not, these are not paid questions.
No.
It was a perfect segue, but go ahead, sorry.
Yes, we're, with AI being so popular and the, power word nowadays with everywhere, I'm very excited to see what you just showed me. And anyway, my question is, or my problem is, students, for example, I'll take a high school students. They would, their first time coming to De Anza, they don't know what to do. And so they would come to A&R office and ask us, what do I do? And so we tell them, first you have to do an application on CC Apply, and you need to do a high school permission form. And then once you submit both stuff, then once we process your information, then we will clear you for the courses that you're supposed to sign up for. And so those kind of questions, if it could be handled up front with chatbot, that would be wonderful, because they're wasting their time. They're coming here to find out those information that they could actually just find online on our website already. So that's where I'm going with our problem.
So let's try your question right now.
Yes, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
I don't know what you'll respond.
Let's just say I go to Cupertino High School. Can I take classes at De Anza College?
Cupertino High School. And I take classes here. I'm holding my fingers because we're all trying it right now. But just so you know, while we're doing this, yes, a student at Cupertino High School can take courses at Frutal de Anza. So as you can see, Kim, this is no longer, I don't have to say Frutal de Anza anymore. It already knows that you're in the Frutal de Anza college. So you can take classes here, there are various options. I can even say, what classes can I take? Can you give me some suggestions? So I can ask questions like that. So the point is, if it is available in the website, we can do it, but we can also privately train it. Right now, what you're seeing is an untrained LLM. It is only reading the information that's publicly available. So, but you can say, if a high school student asks this question, show this page. We can do all of that. We can add a link to say, to find more information, click this link. To set up a meeting, click this link. To make a phone call, click this link. Or with West Valley, we're working on setting up like a live chatbot experience if they want a live agent. But our hope and assumption is that nobody will use a live agent when they can interact with a chatbot.
Can your chatbot gather the information that was communicated with the student and email it to the appropriate department or office?
Yes, so for those things, they have to log in. So this is our public chatbot option. So all they have to do is log in, and you'll see that option next week. So once Jory says we can start putting it together for Frutal de Anza, we will prepare an extension for you, just like you download your Grammarly and other extensions. Your students can download Lightleap plugin for Frutal de Anza directly from Chrome extensions.
Okay, so a student could, okay, I'm taking too much time. I'll ask the next time.
It's okay. All right. But we'll set up a separate meeting for you as well. Thank you so much for that question. And again, I know some of you are at least excited about our final step here. As we wrap it up, I want to make sure that we understand that like Lightleap is not just a chatbot, right? Like what we have as Lightleap is, I want to show you this. You remember how originally I talked to you about different LLMs? Lightleap is configured to use different LLMs. We have deployed it all in AWS Bedrock infrastructure. We have built what's called an AI as a service infrastructure, where Llama 3 is running on end-to-end's Bedrock infrastructure, which you'll get a subscription for, Claude 3.5 Sonnet and Mistral. So what that means is you have full control on which model that you're using. Some institutions say just use Llama 3, or some institutions want to use other models, but ultimately this gives you incredible flexibility as well. And if you're a multi-campus institution, how Rohan was talking about Lafayette College, you can change your students can change the campus and say, for example, Jory, in your example, Foothill versus de Anza College, they can change the locale, or you can, in terms of Rancho Santiago, it can be Santiago College versus the other college as well. So that's the idea behind a multi-campus support. So there's a lot of features here. We're super excited about it. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us for more information, because there's only so much we can pack here. This has been an incredible honor, not just working with all of you and but playing around with it. But so unless anybody has any questions, we'll adjourn this, share all the recordings to everybody. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and especially Jory and Dr. Kim. Truly grateful for your kind words. For whoever has joined the call, we did not request them. Forget about pre-queuing it. They agreed to say it on their unsolicited remarks. For that, I'm super grateful. Thank you so much.